Mm, 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 mm. Jack White, Shaken. Wonderful song. Excellent song. AOA Podcast, back for another episode. Wednesday show. Not the show that I thought we were going to be doing when I woke up earlier today. For those who have not caught up with the rest of the world, Charlie Kirk was tragically shot earlier today around 12:20 Mountain Standard Time and killed. He died at a local Utah hospital shortly thereafter. He was on the Utah Valley campus giving one of his signature debate speeches that he had become known for over the course of his career when his life was taken quite early as a young man and father of two. No doubt about it, a tragic, tragic scene. We're going to take you through everything, reaction, what we think happened, what people are saying, and the latest news, which as we join you here on the podcast, we just discovered that the FBI, who had a person of interest in custody, they have now released that person. So the killer, if you will, is still at large. To use the old cop phraseology, killer is still at large. Everything that has to do with Charlie Kirk, we will cover right here on this episode of the AOA podcast. Strange day. I want to say hello to everybody. TD Freelancer, Willie, Rhonda, Laura, Miss Justice, everybody who's in the live chat on YouTube. Rhonda, Christella, so good to see everybody in the house. Appreciate you guys as always. It's a weird show. It's a weird day. It's a completely weird scene. I was, working on some stuff, not podcast related, podcast adjacent. And my phone started blowing up, and a friend of mine, actually J-Sab's brother, texted me, and then I saw Cuddles text back, and there's this whole thing. So I pick up my phone, what is going on, and saw the clips that were circulating pretty wildly on X earlier of the close-up of the tragedy of what happened. I'm not going to get too descriptive on it because, obviously there's still some rules on YouTube and everything else. But when I saw Charlie Kirk being shot so close, that first, like that head-on view that you can see him and him being shot, I was stunned. And the early conversation that I'm sure that a lot of other people had, if you had this exchange in your friends' chats, is this real or is this AI? And it's so strange that we're in this world now where everything that happens, we are going to be questioning whether or not it's AI. And I think that's just a norm that we're going to have to deal with. And the scene was so fever dream realistic that had an AI feel to it. I was almost like, this cannot be real. That was my initial reaction. I know that might be like a stock or hack reaction, but look at Bird right here. Thank you. It being fake, it actually didn't cross my mind. I'm still thinking. I think I'm still catching up with the times. No, I mean I saw it and I was like, this. It was. I think it was just so jarring, Bird, that I was just like, oh, this can't be real. And then, quickly confirmed with other angles and everything else that it was indeed real. And I caution you not to watch this. But if you do so choose, as it is your American right, you can. I'm sure it's still up there on X, but it's unbelievably tragic. It's a direct neck strike with a lot of blood gushing out of his neck quite quickly, and it's very disturbing to watch. And I had a thought not that long. This was, to be totally honest with you, this affected me so much. I actually had dinner with my children tonight. That's just how I deal with things. I joke, okay? But it is true. Like, I was really so sick to my stomach at what I saw initially that I was just like, the first thought I had was, like after homework and after everything, Cuddles had parent teacher tonight. So she went off to the school to do all that stuff. And I was just like, I just wanted to spend time with my kids. It's one of those weird moments where you're just like, you get snapped into reality and you realize how precious life is, when you see something take place like that. And I don't know if it's just because I'm getting older now or I'm getting weirder or whatever it is, but these things affect me a little bit more these days. This I would love to know your opinion. Comment below. Replay people, live chat. I would love to know your opinion. Like, did you care? Did you just go, "Oh, that's sad," and move on? I was in shock, couldn't believe it, kept watching it for some stupid reason. My stomach actually turned a little bit. Now, I've got the delicate stomach. Again, I don't know if this is old age. Once I hit 40, everything stopped working right. But I used to see these things that were horrible when I was younger and feel it and be like, "Oh, this is awful and terrible." Now I'm like, I physically feel these things. It's so bizarre. It is so strange. And, it makes it even more interesting to speak of, because when you have somebody who's so politically polarizing as he was, as any political person is, actually, even the nicest ones are still polarizing these days, the way our current society is. To see people who don't agree with him just be so empathetic towards him is, again, that's one of those other moments that just gives you such shock and awe. Roxy, I'm assuming that you're not related to Charlie, but you do have the same last name. Roxy says, "I can't watch it again. It's heartbreaking." I couldn't watch it again. I couldn't. But when it initially happened, it's that thing of like, it's that car wreck scenario where you're driving by and you have to look for that human condition. I had watched it a bunch of times out of just utter disbelief. Again, when I first saw it, and the way it happened, I'm like, this can't be real. This has got to be AI generated. It's like that. It's like when you see like the whale jump out of the water and land on the boat, or the ducks on the trampoline. You're just like, "Oh, this is so bizarre. Why am I drawn to this?" And that's kind of what it was. And unfortunately, very, very much real. And I don't know if everybody else had this experience, but, our Deb chiming in, absolutely horrific. Bird saying, "No, I'm heartbroken, scared of the backlash." I'm with you, Bird. It's one of those cringe moments. Same thing with President Trump in Butler, PA. It's one of those cringe moments in society overall, where you just like when you're on the top of the roller coaster and you just go, "I hope this is bad, and I just hope it doesn't get worse." Right? Because it's one of those moments where you can see, again, crowds, mobs, mass amounts of people. When something is moving, large amounts of people, the worst can happen. I mean, even something of like a sports team winning a championship too. Like you have those moments of celebration, and then also just like, I hope they just burn a car and move on. Like, I hope that's the worst of it. But it's kind of weird the way when something large moves a large amount of people, negative stuff tends to happen and occur and in the fallout. So yeah, your fear of backlash is totally justified. It's totally justified. Rhonda says, 2 young kids, wife, and now you can feel it more as you get older. Rhonda, the most heartbreaking thing is like you're scrolling through X as this is happening and watching this horrific footage, and then it's just immediately interspersed with these photographs of him and his beautiful wife and his 2 children in all these pictures. And yeah, I think that's why it hits you more, right? Because like you see yourself in these things, you're just like, Jesus Christ, these poor 2 little kids now, and this poor woman who's going to have to explain to her babies that daddy's not coming home anymore. It was like a year or 2 ago. We were talking about this and this is not going to mean a lot to a lot of you, but there's a hockey player named Johnny Gaudreau. And he was riding his bicycle and he was tragically hit by a drunk driver. And I started seeing like word of it on Twitter again, just kind of leak out. And that whole day I was walking around in a daze because I was just like, this poor woman having to explain to her far too young to understand at their age children that dad's not coming home to play with you anymore. It's just so disturbing. It really, it's just horrific. It's just horrific, and look, Christella didn't, terrible, didn't need to be unalived, and I wasn't a fan at all. Yeah, that's that's a testament to like how tragic a situation is when you're just like, oh, I didn't really like that person, but this is fucking horrible, and that's okay. That's an okay reaction to have. I did not agree with that man an awful lot, I really didn't. You can go back though and watch episodes of this podcast after the election, after the 2024 election, and I give Charlie Kirk some kudos. I give him some flowers because I was just impressed with his ability to deliver the youth vote to the Republicans in that election, because Charlie, especially when we're specifically discussing the 2024 election, did something that the Democrats weren't willing to do, and that's roll up the sleeves and do the dirty work on the ground. That kid had a work ethic to him that not a lot of people have, and that was sorely lacking in Kamala's campaign. Because she wasn't willing to go do the interviews at places and wasn't willing to go into the territories where it wasn't so familiar and friendly. And Charlie Kirk literally made his name on, who doesn't agree with me? Let's go face to face and talk this out. Which adds another layer of tragedy to it too, doesn't it? Like the kid, all he did was just like, let's talk, everybody. And oh my God, doesn't that resonate with everyone? I mean, we all love to fly off the handle and be like, I hate this guy, I hate this guy, I hate this girl, or, I hate these people, or I hate this group. It's so easy to be like, screw those people. But at the end of the day, like the disagreement, the debate, like, I mean, that's the good stuff. That's the stuff we take for granted the most, right? Like, that's the beauty of America. We could disagree, we could not like each other, but we both get to say what we want to say, and nobody gets arrested, nobody gets killed, typically, at the end of the day, today withstanding. But he was really good at that, and I've talked about this when it comes to, and it just so happens it's mostly sports figures, but Bill Simmons and, Dave Portnoy and the Dan and the Danettes, my man, who left the ESPN. We talk about all these guys who just go off and they're independent and they make their own way. And that's, Charlie had that sort of a sense. He started his little political career when he was 18 years old. People might not know that about him. He was 18 years old when he decided, I'm a conservative and I am fiercely underrepresented amongst my peers. And that's when he started doing, these campus discussions and trying to get conservatism, spread in the youth of America, in the college campuses, which traditionally is a liberal time in a person's life. That's, at that college age, that's when you're kind of like liberal, when you're youthful and you're hopeful and you're, just overwhelmingly positive, and, everything is looking up, right? And there's lots of positivity all around, and you're just like, would it be great if the world was this great? You have a lot of liberal ideals at that age. And this kid at 18 was like, no, I don't feel that way. And, I want other people to think like I think. And And he went out there and did it. I don't even think he went to school, which was kind of amazing. He was like, I'm going to skip college, but I'm going to lecture college people, which is kind of a, God, how could you not appreciate that sort of, balls, All right. I'm trying to have a serious conversation here. Can we have this person removed? Next thing they're going to say, I'm spray tanning, it's going to get ugly. So just, if Miss Justice Bird, just keep an eye on this person. I'm not entirely sure. I also don't trust people who could voice their opinion on this show and choose to lurk in the comment section. Miss you, J Sabs. Miss you. Oh, there we go. See, the Hawks are on it. Thank you, Bird. Just keep an eye. Let's keep a tight leash. Let's not ban right off the bat, but let's keep a tight leash, in case it gets out of control with the personal attacks, and false claims. Look, this is a false claim. She's got it. She's got to look. She just got to look in her normal place, acting like it. All of a sudden, we email these things. Anyway. The balls on the kid to just be like, I'm going to just go out and start preaching to the world. And he did. And he made a name for himself. He got on Breitbart. He got on Fox pretty early doing hits. He, then he started the Turning Point as like an action group, gets onto Trump's radar, does some stuff with him early on in the first campaign. I mean, nothing like in an official capacity or anything like that, but not like he did the second time around. Like I said, the second time around, they literally farmed out their ground game to him. And I talked about that, and it caught me by surprise at first. I'm like, I know Charlie Kirk is a thing, but to be part of a presidential campaign, like, are you for real? And then the fucking guy delivered. He delivered in a huge way. He really came through. I mean, again, I'm not going to rehash, but you go back and watch those first one or two episodes right after the election to get my feelings on it. And the Republicans played it masterfully. And Charlie Kirk was a big, big part of that. He was a really big part of connecting those, under 28-year-olds to that movement, which traditionally they do not connect. They do not see eye to eye. That age group tends to vote liberal, tends to go left in the other way. He did a RNC speech in 2024 that put him on the map in a much bigger way, and then, he started doing these debates at these colleges. They started, not that he was always doing them, but they started to catch more fire with, podcasting and internet clips and, things like that. I think that's when J-Sabs first fell in love with him because, big conservative. Big.
The clips, you mean?
Yeah, the clips of Charlie Kirk.
Yeah. Obviously, I don't agree with. I love how he. Oh God, here we go. You could hear the background. Nanny bed. This is how we talk to each other in this house.
It's hot. I like it.
I mean, he's like extremely religious, and that I don't like. We don't have the same views on that or abortion. Some things I do agree with him, but I will say he was never like violent.
Yeah.
And he was respectful. He never said that he wasn't going to debate anyone. Like he wanted to. Like
he loves mixing it up.
So I'll be honest. I'm in shock that this happened. I cannot believe this happened.
It hit you hard. Yeah, did you? I don't know if you caught the beginning. I said this really hit me hard. Like
me too.
The last couple of losses of people who are. Is it because we're old now? Is it because we're parents? I don't know what it is. Is it because the the level of tragedy that we're dealing with? What do you think it is?
Right.
I don't know. Like I can't really. I mean, maybe it's just a combination of all three. Maybe it is just a combination of all three. But I never had feelings before, and now all of a sudden, where there was emptiness, there's feelings, and I don't know how to process it. I'm with Garuda here too, not just on having a cool name, but don't watch the video. Don't watch the video. And I'll tell you what, it's been a rough 24 hours for your old pal Ant, because I made the mistake. Now I have a couple of podcast friends. I have one I would call associate. I don't know if we would call each other friends, but I have one associate who's a really big conservative podcaster, like big. And I respect him for going out and doing his thing. Him and I did a lot of stuff in the past. Not so much anymore. I don't know if he's interested in it. I would love to have him on, chop it up with him like the old days. But he was going on and making a huge deal out of this Ukrainian refugee who was murdered in Charlotte or somewhere in the Carolinas. It had become this like news story, and it's another sad and tragic thing. And he was just been barking about it. And you know how algorithms are. So when one thing comes across, I always kind of check in with him to see how he's doing. When one thing comes across your feed, another thing comes across your feed. And I saw it. And you know what? I hated his take on it, because I thought he was really just race baiting. He was saying how, a black guy kills a white woman and the news doesn't talk about it and all this stuff. And I don't necessarily agree with that. I just feel like all these news stories have their own lifespans and virality, and that depends on like a ton of different things. Not to say that the left doesn't cover up stuff that doesn't help their narrative. They do. I get it, but I felt like he was kind of inciting a lot of shit where it wasn't necessary. But it was something that was gaining ground in the rights thing. So I was like, let me just watch this to see what it was. And so did you see that video, Jay Sams, of that poor young woman getting killed?
Oh my God.
Did you see it?
I did.
Horrific. I mean, not that we need to compare or pick the worst out of the two today and or that girl, but it's tragic in a whole nother sense. I mean, this guy, for seemingly no reason whatsoever, and you can see him pull out a knife. She's sitting on it, but she gets on a bus. She sits in front of this man. He's leaning against the window. She doesn't look at him. She doesn't do anything. And for whatever reason, you watch him take out a knife, sit there for another like 5 seconds or so before he gets up and walks in front of her and stabs her in the chest. And in the most strange way, don't watch this video either if you haven't watched it already. She like covers her mouth because she's so like shocked, and then she looks down and sees, and then she basically just collapses to the floor. And everybody around her doesn't move.
Which to me, I'm sorry. I am sorry. Like, no one fucking helped her?
I hear you, but I think they were all just in such shock and also terrified for their own lives. Because you know what's interesting? Because he's still standing there, like relatively close to her, and nobody moves. And then when he kind of moves away, and the bus or train or whatever, I think it's a bus, stops, and people then see, then they all start to gather and try and help her. But it's like other people who didn't rush to her right away. I'd like to think you'd jump up and do something, but I think those people were so fear-stricken and shocked.
I think they were probably like so scared of their own. But then again, this is like another example of someone who had prior arrest and like history, and he's out on the streets, and yet they fucking made a GoFundMe for him. Come on.
Who made a GoFundMe for him?
I don't know if it was his family or people who were just like, oh, like he needs help. No, he doesn't need help. He needs, I don't want to say what he needs because then I'll be in trouble. But then again, there's another guy. Did you see this? They actually just caught him But there was a guy, again, prior arrest, he was let out, not a good person, not a good human, goes to a certain part of Queens, was trying to, I don't even know what he was trying to do, get into people's houses, and he got into this elderly couple's house, and he fucking stabs them and sets them on fire, and they die.
That's terrible.
And it's just like what?
Yeah, it's strange. It's worse when you hear about all these prior violence and yeah,
right.
And it's become politicized, but I'll credit the right on this one. Like, it's not that they've come up with this argument, but they've seized again, and I don't know if this is Trump per se or just the Charlie Kirks of the right side of the world that have put their finger on the pulse of what's happening in the country, and they were able to capture it and ride that wave, meaning people are sick of people with prior crimes getting out on the street and doing it again, and they've really zeroed in on that. And it's been dragged into the illegal immigration conversation, but it's also not an illegal immigration problem as well, and it's not a problem that lies in race either. I mean, I don't know what the statistics are of people with criminal records and what race they are, and I don't even think it matters. I think the point is violent criminals are being allowed out of prison far too early, and they're committing more crimes. And the right has really jumped on this and seized it as this is another thing that the country is sick of, and they're going to make it part of their platform and make the left look bad for it. And it's working. Yeah. And it's working in a big way for them because they're scoring a lot of points with people. And I don't like, it's just not like they're doing it just to score points. It's not an invalid point to be like, if you're consistently committing crimes,
why are you out?
Why are you out walking the streets?
Right.
And everybody who is not necessarily political or right-leaning or left-leaning, whatever, is going to look at an issue like that. That's what they call like an 80-20 issue. I mean, it's almost a 95-5 issue. I mean, it's like, who's going to be opposed to, let's put all the violent criminals behind bars for a really long time so they don't kill us or our family members. So that's why they're winning on that sort of a thing.
Yeah, but I try to post the link in the comments, but it's not letting me. I don't know why.
You what? You want to put
the link about this guy too. I just couldn't even believe that too. But then I was so because I mean he killed them. They didn't just get set on fire. Like he legit killed them. So he tortured them first, then killed them. And they're like 70 in their 70s. Come on.
Yeah, could you imagine you live your whole life just for
right. If someone did that to my parents, I would fucking what's it called? I'll be a vigilante.
You and I would Batman?
I would. Mark my words, you're gonna see my face. It says wanted underneath. I mean, probably that's going to definitely happen anyway. But if someone did this to my parents. Yeah. So this happened, I don't know, 2 days ago. They found him tonight. Somebody recognized him in the city in Manhattan. They were like, yep, that's him. And they got him. But really? How much longer until he gets out again?
Yeah, I mean, that's the problem. And listen, the one thing I will say that does line up with some consistency is these third and fourth chance states or cities tend to be left leaning.
Right.
Which it's a problem for the Democrats. It's another issue they need to shore up and get a better stance on, because people's safety, listen, people do irrational things when they're afraid. Mm-hmm. You know, I mean, you look at every time a country put itself into a dictator's hands, you know, from Napoleon on through all these other people, it's out of fear. I mean, that's what political movements get you to do, to be afraid, to stick with them, you know. So yeah, it's
Right.
just it's unfortunate. The woman on the bus though, I mean, you see the moment where just her soul leaves her body. You just and you see the moment too where she realizes, oh, this is it's over. I'm gonna die.
Yeah, that's just a whole nother. Seriously,
So hard to see. And the guy who did it, his brother came out and spoke publicly and was like, I don't know why he was out. He's not a good person. That's his brother saying that.
Right. Wow. See,
so
some people are just evil, and that's it. There's just, but this Charlie Kirk. So the latest, because I had to go to meet the teacher night, whatever. So I'm just catching up, really. Yeah, and so they don't have anyone in custody, do they?
No, and I'll tell you how bizarre it was. They arrested somebody, which everybody saw the video of, and a bald guy who oddly just handled it so bizarrely. Like, I have the right to, like, I mean, again, I feel like if that were me, if somebody's arresting me and I didn't do it, I would be like, okay, I'm going to, just so you guys know, I didn't do it, but you do whatever you have to do. We'll get through this quickly and you'll realize that it's not me.
Right.
Like, fighting in that situation or being like, I have the right to remain screaming, I have the right to remain silent is not a disalarming answer to the police officers in the middle of a tragic situation, you know, in the middle of chaos.
Exactly.
So there was that. And then there was rumors that the school said that they had the person in custody. And then they realized when they realized that guy wasn't the guy, they realized, nope, they are still looking for the person. The killer is at large. Then Kash Patel tweeted that they have a person of interest, or whatever language he used, in custody. And then they had a press conference from the Utah campus, and the governor spoke, but it was somebody who spoke before the governor. I forget if they were with the FBI or whatever. And they basically said they didn't have anybody. And then 2 seconds later, standing right next to him was the governor who spoke, who said they did have a person of interest. So it was even in the same press conference, they couldn't get it right, you know, which you got to give everybody a little bit of slack. I mean, I expected the two guys in the same press conference to get it right, but you got to give everybody a little slack. And then it was confirmed that they did have somebody that they questioned of interest. And then, as you said, just before we started the show, they released that person because it wasn't the actual killer. So the killer is still at large. They did say that they have closed circuit television. They have security camera footage of the person who did it. And they were looking for them. But
I was going to say, they have to, right? You can't do anything these days without any that's why I can never kill someone.
Yeah.
That's the only reason.
Only your husband with a bag of peanuts. But outside of that, you know, we'll know. You know, we'll know.
But I mean, like, you're going to get caught. But, you know, obviously people don't care. That's the whole thing.
It's very strange. But the weird thing is the person at the press conference said, it's blurry footage, as you could assume from a security camera. And I'm like, yeah. And then I'm like, wait a second. No, it's 2025. And we're talking about a college. The colleges spend shit ton of money on everything. Like, they should have 4K security camera footage like everybody else. Why are they still rocking like 720 or 360 security camera footage?
I just want to point out that I am the one who broke the news in the group chat that he actually passed. Oh,
I apologize. Let me issue an official apology, because I credited your brother with that.
Oh, no. He was the one who said he got shot.
Oh, that's what I said. Oh, no, you were the one who said he died. Okay, yes. Then yes. Then I didn't get it right.
Although,
apology retracted.
I was writing it as he sent it. So Me and him are on the same wavelength, but I was writing it as it came through, and I'm like, I wanted to be the one to break this news. Fucking Thunder Stealer.
He was a Thunder Stealer. Yeah, he was. How did you see it? How did you come across it? You just on social all day?
No. Actually, I got a news alert first.
Oh, really?
Yep. Email. Which is weird because I would think I would see it on actual social media first, you know?
Right. Yeah, email news alert is weird because it's not 1992 anymore.
Right. And I was like, wait, is this real? And as I'm saying that, because I was going to say, is this real in the group? My brother sent it over.
I don't know who's older, you or Frank. I mean, it's so I am the example of youth on this show, and that says a lot for the two of you.
Wait, I really am shocked that because my phone is dead. Charlie, yeah, it was People Magazine, People Breaking News. And I guess my brother, yeah, because I saw it and I was like, oh, and I was going to say to this group, is this real? And he wrote that. And I was like, fuck.
I'm stunned. I thought you would have heard it from AOL.com or
yeah, right.
Or Lycos, or Ask Jeeves. I'm surprised you didn't get that alert from Ask Jeeves.
I'll tell you why I didn't see it on social media first. Because I actually wasn't on my phone at that moment. I was washing dishes.
Oh, okay.
So the next best thing was email. And the way my email pops up on my phone, I don't have to go into it to see it. Just pops up like automatically.
Yeah. Are you sure you didn't get the alert on MySpace?
MySpace, yes.
Friendster let you know first. I'm just taking Bert's joke and making it earlier. Stupid.
I still can't believe it, though. I cannot.
How many times did you watch the video of him getting hit in the neck?
Probably way more than I should have. I'm sorry, but I had to.
Why? Me too. Why did we do that? So weird. It's a human thing, I think. It is bizarre.
I was analyzing it, looking in the background as someone else, like my brother too.
You know what's strange? The way the human body reacts, the way he grabs the microphone and tenses up.
I know.
Before it's weird how that adrenaline or whatever it is, that kind of is just strange to see. So I had this very strange thought though before, I was saying this was so tragic. I actually wanted to have dinner with my kids tonight just to spend time with them. And I'm making dinner and I had the thought of his kids are going to grow up one day. There's going to be a day. I don't know when it is. There'll be 8 or 12 or 20. I don't know when. There's going to be a day where they're going to look this up on the internet and they're going to see it for themselves.
I know.
And what is that going to be like for them?
That's just right. And we just got only a few views. Imagine by later tonight or tomorrow how many more views and videos are going to be too. Well,
what's strange is, again, I study this stuff. It was up around 3 or 5 million tweets in a really concise amount of time on Twitter. That I'm like, this is one of those this is one of those moments, Yep. I mean, it was the same thing when the Epstein victims spoke up last week. It got a lot of attention, but the last time before that would have been Trump and Butler, Mm-hmm. It's just one of those moments where it's not just a social media thing or a news people thing or a political thing. It's like where the whole world kind of just stops and is like, holy shit, this is a really big deal.
Right.
Yeah,
hold on. I'm moving so my husband can watch TV. Oh my God, I'm such a nice wife.
You are a good wife. I was telling my wife that, why can't you be more like Janine? I want to bring up the map here because this is interesting. So this is where he was. Maybe I'll make this a little bigger. We don't need to. No, you know what? I'm going to leave it this size. Makes it easier for clips. I'm sorry, everybody. But here's the map from Google Earth on Utah Valley University, the courtyard where he was at. And you could see there were some big buildings around. Now, the university said it came. Okay, here's the other. Okay. The kid who's talking to him is asking a question, and they're talking about mass shootings.
I know.
It's like, what? And it's the kind, when I first look at it, the first angle that I saw was that head-on angle. And the kid says, he asks him a question, he answers, he goes, okay, great. And then the shot comes. I just assumed that it was the person asking a question that did it.
Oh, you know what's funny? I was reading something about this before. I didn't think that at all.
Really?
I did not.
That was my first thought. And it wasn't until a couple times around, and then when I started looking at the other angles, when you can, there's another angle from the side where you can see the person asking the question clearly doesn't pick up his arm or have a gun or anything like that. And then it's clear as day that came from, but nobody knew the first 45 minutes that this was out. Nobody knew, but I right away when I started to see those other angles, I go, that was an assassin's bullet for sure. But here's what's weird to me. Now you can see on the map there's clearly like a lot of tall buildings and rooftops all around. So we don't know really which building it came from. Obviously the university knows because they have the security footage. At this time, we still don't know.
I was going to say, do you think that they know where it came from exactly?
I think they have to, because they said they had the footage of the person.
Oh, they do have the footage of the person.
Yeah, in the press conference from the campus at 6:30 or whatever that press conference was, 6 o'clock. They said they had the footage. They knew they have a suspect, so they knew who did it. I don't know if they saw a gun or carrying a case or somebody up to where they shouldn't be. Again, is it in the hallways of the building? Is it from the roof? I don't know what they have exactly. We can only speculate. But what's weird to me is I just assumed that it wasn't from too high up because he's in a tent.
Yeah, I know.
That's a tough angle because he's kind of not in the middle, but not up front in the tent. He's kind of in between. And so you can't get too high up where you don't see him, especially because it hit him up high on the body. I just thought that is somebody who just knows what they're doing.
Well, that's what they said, that it definitely is a veteran who did this because of the shot that he got.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, who do you think did it?
Our friend who is, well, your brother-in-law, who has the same personality almost as your husband, has this wonderful deadpan that makes me laugh every single time. He said something in our group chat like, do you think it was anybody on the left? Just like in the middle of like us just reacting to this horrific, he's just like, you think it's anybody on the left? I'm just like, it was not. In a bad moment, it was like a nice little relief of like, that is kind of funny, you know?
Yeah, like who else is going to be, right?
Who else going to? Yeah.
I mean, like, you just don't know. That's what I could only...
Crazy, stupid MSNBC was like, could it have been one of his... Some dick on MSNBC was like, could it have been one of his followers that was just excited in celebration and it was an accident? I was like, that's a wild take to have 45 minutes after this happened.
That's a dumb thing to say.
That's a pretty delusional thing to say. And for somebody who's made a career of saying a lot of dumb things, even I looked at that and was like, I wouldn't have said that. That's really stupid.
Yeah, that's file that away and never say that again.
Yeah. I mean, really. But I wonder about it. The fact that possibly military is it's got to come up in everybody's thoughts because it was a direct hit. But you know what else? Something that I was thinking about, and I would love, again, comment below in the live chat. Let me know what you think about this too. You know, when you look at the early days of assassins, right? I mean, going all the way back to John Wilkes Booth, like there were obviously wasn't a lot of people around. There probably wasn't a large ratio of assassins to people. And then you go up through the eras, Kennedy, and then obviously the Kennedy and, Reagan and all the way up. And I would guess that there's more people who are skilled in long range shooting today than there was even 25, 30, 50 years ago. Do you get that feeling? I feel like right now it is a weird time where, again, between Butler, between this today, and there's been a couple of other long range assassinations all around the world. There was somebody in China, I think, not that long ago, or somewhere in Asia. I just feel like regular sportsmen, obviously military, trained people, even just enthusiasts who are out there at the range, I just feel like there's more people, more guns, more training, more availability, more of a possibility. The ratio, again, I think is higher than it ever has been before of people who could pull this off versus 40 years ago.
Yes.
Right? Like, that's not a crazy thought, I don't think.
No.
So, and I bring it up because it's kind of like it increases the, whereas like when I bring it up because it's like when it happens to Kennedy, you're like, okay, we don't have to look at a lot of different people for the possibilities here. Whereas now you can't just be like, it must be somebody who was in the train, service,
I know.
It could be anybody really.
How long do you think we have till we find out? Till they find out who did it.
Okay, great question. If this were anywhere else on the planet, I would say this person has maybe 24 hours, 48 if they're lucky.
Okay.
For this particular case, from everything that I've been reading and from the experts that I hear, this is not a heavily populated area. I mean, this is the biggest college in the state. But, you get in a car and in 5 minutes, 10 minutes, you're in the woods. You know, you're not far from an airport, it's not out of the realm. And the reason why I say that too is because when something happens, it's just radius. It becomes a numbers game. Okay, here's the radius of where this person could be, and then you might expand that or contract it based on information that you get, surveillance footage and everything like that. There was such chaos here. If this guy was really that far away and had a car waiting nearby and got in that car and drove 10 minutes away and was not near anything in an area that's not heavily populated, where they don't have massive amounts of police presence, I mean, that's a big head start that could get by you a large amount of time.
The only thing, because so pretty much everyone's cameras are pointed towards him.
Right.
If there was someone filming in the crowd, videoing the crowd, because they do video the crowd, but they mostly is like zone in on the person who he's debating with. If somebody was videoing the crowd and happened to get that on camera, then they try to track this person, because they do it like through like traffic cameras and all of that, and this guy took a left here and took a left there. I don't really know in Utah if they have the type of cameras that we have here. You know what I mean? Like,
yes,
they have them on every street. Is it only major? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, well, we're in New York. There's millions and millions of people. There are streets in New York where there's a camera every 100 yards.
Right. So what I'm saying is, like, all right, say they do find out who the shooter is, and they try to track him. How far can they track him? If I don't know how the cameras are there. So
yeah.
And like you said, if there's like woods nearby, then he's got a head start.
He's got a massive head start. And
I'm sure they don't have cameras in the woods there.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. No, it's true. Yeah. And, listen, we talked about this when what's her name disappeared. It was weird how all these cameras, these angles, we started to see all these things. I still believe that to this day. So I think there's a good chance, but at the same time, like it feels like the initial chaos, not knowing what vehicle they're getting in, not being able to, because again, how many cars left this campus within 5 minutes of this happening? I mean,
Exactly.
I'd be in a car leaving. I wouldn't want to stick around for this, if I was in that crowd.
Or just people just running in all different directions.
Yeah, I mean, it was insane. Oh, speaking of which, I saw one angle where at least 2 people grabbed a little child and started running. We have got to do a better job parenting in this country. I don't care what side of the aisle you're on, stop bringing children to political discussions and rallies. 6-year-old children do not want to be at these things.
No, they do not.
Stop it. Listen, I get it. I have to bring my kids to places that I just don't have any choice. I have to bring them,
Like to your proctologist appointment.
Yeah. Or sometimes to restaurants, if we're being honest. Like sometimes I just want to go have a burger in peace and they need to be, they don't want to come and be fed and all that shit.
I know a place on Mondays where they could eat free, but for kids.
All right, text me because I want to know because I'm going to need that. I'm going to need that. But I'm seeing more and more of people bringing and what's even worse than bringing a 5-year-old to something like this is bringing like a 12-year-old. Stop doing that because they could understand some of this stuff. Like it's not like just stop. Again, not to sound like an old person, but when I was 8, 12, even 14, I would have teachers that would be like, go home and talk to your parents about me. I'd go talk. I say, Dad, who you voting for? Mind your fucking business.
Right.
Was his answer. I'm not telling you. I'm like,
right.
You birthed me. I thought we had like a bond going. He's like, not when it comes to political stuff. Mind your fucking, it wasn't discussed.
Oh,
it wasn't
boys, man. I mean, boys,
It wasn't a part of life. And now they're bringing kids to fucking places. Like, it's like, stop doing this. Stop doing it.
Exactly. Like, who cares?
I like Garuda. Stop going outside. It's where bad people are.
Right.
Yeah, it's true. You can't leave. You can't leave anymore. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. I still can't believe this happened. Really.
It's strange. And it's a good question by you. It's like, are we talking about 5 hours? Are we talking about a day? Is this going to be a week-long thing? Is it going to be months? Are we ever going to find this person?
How long after Trump was shot the first time? Actually, was he shot second time or he just tried? I don't even remember now.
No, he wasn't. I don't know. The second guy at the golf club didn't even get shots off. They found him way before that happened.
What was the time frame from when he was shot to finding out who did it?
In the first one?
Again, that guy was dead.
Yeah, they killed him instantly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. But like you think about, remember the Boston bombers? Like those guys ran around for a couple days.
Oh my God. Yes, I remember that. Watching TV, me and my friend we were watching TV like, where do you think this guy is? Where do you think these guys are? Because it was a while, right? Because we didn't know right away who it was.
Yeah.
But they did have, I remember they did have him on
Right. Yeah, they put that out early.
Yep.
Yeah.
They knew who they were looking like. They didn't know essentially who the actual person were. They knew what they looked like.
Yeah. Well, a lot of times, you got to think about that too, because they haven't put any images out as of right now.
Right.
And if they don't have it or they don't think it's going to help, they're not going to put it out. But if they have it and they think it can help, they'll put it out.
Right.
So they might have something, but not have enough because you don't want to put out a shitty image of the killer and then the killer sees that and goes, "Oh, I'm going to be just fine." They're not going to be able to,
Right.
And it also gives you a chance to change your hair color, your outfit, your whatever. They could also do that as well too.
Yep.
But I was on the air, and again, Long Island to Boston. not that close, but we got a news flash one of the mornings that they had possibly boarded a train to Connecticut. And then that was the end of that. Like I started getting all these things and the news people and the fucking thing. It's like everybody started getting crazy, and that turned out to be not true. But there was like an hour there after that Boston bomber thing where we were like handling serious stuff, because if they were like going into Connecticut, it was going to become a thing for our little local area.
They were found hiding in boats, right, in people's yards.
Yeah, in somebody's backyard. They were in a boat in somebody's backyard.
One of them was bleeding.
Yeah. Well, they split up. I think they found and got one, and then they were still looking for the other kid, the younger one maybe, and then they found him in the boat. I think. I don't remember. It's weird how these things that were huge at the time, you forget all about them. But let me ask you a question. This, and kind of wrap it up here. There was again, the rumors he was dead, he wasn't dead, all this and that. There was a little while there where it was like an hour and a half in, and I was like, the hospital and the AP announced and the hospital said that he was in critical condition.
Okay.
And I was like, son of a bitch. I'm like, this guy's going to fucking make it. I was like, if he's still alive somewhat after that amount of blood came out of him that quickly, I kind of felt like he might have a chance at this. And then it wasn't 10, 15 minutes later that they announced he had passed. But did you have that little moment of hope? Because I did. I don't know if I'm just naive.
I saw the shot and I was like, he's definitely dead. But here's the craziest thing. Isn't it crazy that we are living in a time where we don't know if it's fucking AI or real?
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy? It's
crazy, and get used to it, because that's the new norm. That's going to be the new norm. We're not going to know.
I'm like, how can we not? How do we have to decide? How can we live in a world or a time where we don't know if it's real or not? Because that's how real it could look,
Yeah. I think the technology has to get to a point where if AI is going to generate an image, there has to be some sort of code in that file that cannot be changed, encrypted, or whatever, that tells you that this is not a genuine file.
Right.
Like that has to be the way AI continues, because if not, we're in a world of trouble.
Yeah, nobody's going to want to actually use it then.
True. But it's one thing to dick around with jokes and shit like that with it, and it's another thing to be like, look, here's the person, here's the killer, and they're not the killer, or whatever. Right.
Or is this video real? Is he really getting shot? My mother sent me a video, and it was about this huge, it was fake, obviously. It was this huge wave that went over these people on the beach, and it was and she's like, can you believe this happened? I'm like, oh, Phyllis. I'm like, this is fake. She's like, how could it be fake? I'm like, it's AI. She's like, really? I'm like, I gotta send it to you, because it's honestly, you cannot believe that she actually thought this was real. And I'm like, oh, Phyllis.
There's Janine. There's Ronnie Chang is one of the guys who's on the Daily Show. He has a Netflix special. He's got there's a green curtain behind him. You have to watch it. He does this bit about how his, baby boomer parents can't identify what's real and what's not real on the internet. And it's even just email blasts. And she's like, how do you know? His mom's like, how do you know this is not real? And he's like, because the fucking font. He's like, everything. He's like, people don't write like that. He's going on and on, saying all the obvious things that we can see at our age that our parents just can't. It looks like it's a news article. They automatically think it's real. It's like a 4.5 minute bit that is so laugh out loud hilarious. I'm going to send it to you. It's really, really good.
I couldn't even. Oh, jeez.
Yeah, but listen, I that was my natural first reaction. I was like, holy shit, is this real? Because it is so jarring and reality that your initial instinct is to protect yourself and go, oh, this can't be real. I think that's that fight or flight thing kicking in. Like, oh, this can't be a real thing.
It is.
Yeah. It's Ronnie Chang. It's Ronnie Chang. Love to Hate It, by the way. That's the name of the special. Go ahead. What were you going to look it up? It's so good, Janine. The whole special is good, but that one particular part just really made me laugh. It was really
I gotta send it to my mother then and be like, listen, can you get this? Here's what I'm most disappointed about.
Good. Then I have to tell you one more thing. Go ahead.
What? Tell me. No, go ahead. Tell me.
No, you do your thing first.
People on social media, well, not social, people on Facebook celebrating this.
Yeah.
Being happy that this happened. I mean, come on.
Let's talk about that for a second. I keep seeing the same quote over and over again, and I'm sure other people are as well.
Probably me too.
And I'm sure you saw it as well. It's this quote, and okay, here it is, because somebody else just put it. A lot of my feed is putting it. A lot of my feed is actually putting pictures of him with his family. I'm surprised. I don't know why I'm surprised, but I'm always surprised to see what side people fall on these. Anyway, this is the quote that's going around, to Janine's point of people celebrating this. It's a quote from Charlie Kirk from 2023, where he says, I think it's worth to have a cost of, unfortunately, some gun deaths every single year so that we can have the Second Amendment to protect our other God-given rights.
Yep, and so I've seen people.
Right? Yeah, a lot of people are putting that and saying, whatever. I don't know if I have to say this, but that's not really appropriate today.
Right.
Or maybe kind of ever. But that being said, my take on this, and this is my feeling, I think Charlie Kirk knew this was a possibility every day and went out there and did it anyway. I think he says something like that, knowing full well that is up to and including him.
Yes, because somebody posted this and wrote, well, how do you feel now, Charlie?
Right.
And I wanted to write what you just said. He probably knew that this might happen to him one day.
Exactly. I think if he were alive and you could ask him, he would say, no, that includes me too. I would die happily, even though he's got 2 kids and everything like that, which that takes a unique person. I'll be honest with you. I do not feel that way. I do not echo those sentiments. I'm a pussy. I would like to live, Actually, that's not even true. I feel like I have to be here for these fucks, they got to eat and all that shit. But anyway, the point is, he would feel okay with this ending. And I say that too because he went in there, he had security, but it wasn't at the level that it clearly needed to be.
Right.
And I also want to say, he knows more than anybody else. But I didn't think that this could happen.
I know.
I didn't think that this could happen. And maybe that's also part of it. Like, he probably thought, well, 6 security guys is probably enough to keep somebody from coming up and punching me in the face. I don't know if he thought it would ever escalate to the point where an assassin from far away would be targeting him. But you have to think he might have. And even still, he chose to go out there and just be amongst the people doing what he loved to do anyway. And I'm not saying that to glorify the guy. I just, from the sense that I get from him is that.
Right. Right. But I just I cannot believe
that people would post that. People are lost.
It's disgusting, really.
Yeah, people are lost. People are either lost or they're busy or they didn't see it, or they're seeing it after the fact, or maybe they're getting the news from somebody on the other side of the aisle who they vehemently disagree with, and it doesn't have the same realistic bite to it that it does for most people, and they're lashing out that way, I saw a lot of other people that said, that their reaction is there's not this much outcry and sadness for school shootings as there is today. And
yeah, I saw that too.
as much as that's inappropriate, I wouldn't say that today.
Right.
I will say there is an outcry for school shootings. It's weird to see this much of an outcry from the right for one of their guys versus when one of those school shootings happens.
Right. But you know what? I think it's two different situations.
It's kind of different. It's much different situations. Yeah.
One is political and one is school shooting. Well, it could be a totally, I mean, how many different reasons can we have for these things?
Right.
It could be bullying. It could be, they never, that Sandy Hook kid, they never really had a reasoning. One of the first reports came out that his mother was a substitute teacher, and he didn't like that she gave attention. He thought she gave more attention to the kids than him. Like, it's two different situations.
Yeah. You know what else I find really interesting? Again, maybe not appropriate to talk about today. You look at Luigi Mangione and that situation.
Oh, God, I look at him all day. Go ahead.
But there is almost zero sympathy. I mean, maybe 1 or 2% for that insurance guy.
I know.
And I know it's different things, and insurance companies fuck over lots of people. It's easy to demonize those people. But this is equally as tragic, and it's being felt a lot more.
Right.
Aaron C. brings up a good point. Again, it weirds me out when people who can just say things are in the live chat. I criticized Janine before, so Aaron, you got to catch one too.
I heard you.
This one hit differently because so many people saw it. I think that's a valid point. We heard about the Luigi Mangione thing after the fact. This happened in front of everybody's eyes today. So I think that does make a difference for sure.
Right. Garuda also said he was famous. That's another thing.
That's true. The insurance guy really wasn't famous. The insurance company was more famous than he was. The CEO was.
Right.
That's a good point. Yeah, that's another good point. I have to tell you what my mother said before we go. I talked to her just before the show. We were talking about the kids and some other stuff, and she goes, "See what happened today?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm not blind or dead to the world. I saw." She goes, "He was a podcaster, I go, "Yeah." She goes, "You got to be careful." I'm like, "Ma, me and him are not in this. We're not in the same." She goes, "No, but I see you and Janine and Frank. You guys say some silly things sometimes."
Oh no, she watches the show sometimes.
So I go. So I literally said to her, "It's funny that you said that." I literally said to her, I go, "Honestly, Mom, the craziest people that could hear us, I'm talking to right now. And I know you don't watch every show, so I think we're okay." That was my response to her. But
good response.
Yeah, but typical Italian mom to be like, "What is this thing that has nothing to do with my son? Let me call my son and make sure he's careful because it might affect him in some weird business." Like, it's just like she's got to worry about something.
The interwebs too.
Yeah. Meanwhile, if you want to know the God's honest truth, the person who should be careful is her, because she loves to just fight and argue with everybody who has a different political opinion than her.
Oh, really? That's funny.
On Facebook. Oh my God. She just mixes it up.
Oh, really?
Perfect strange. Like one time I had to tell her, Cuddles told her, Cuddles goes, "You're on an FBI list. I know it. I know you are." She's like, "There's no way you can say the things you're saying on the internet and there's not a file on you. There's a file somewhere." Like, I told her, I'm like, you can't be saying this crazy shit to people. You don't know what they're going to fucking say.
Right.
But I will say, back in the day, in the radio days, I had some people that hung around a lot. I had a guy once who was waiting for me at 5:45 in the morning at the front door of the radio station. And it scared the shit out of me. Yeah, I never talked about it. I never let on. I think I've mentioned it here on the podcast now because a lot of time has passed. But it he wasn't threatening. He was always but he was weird.
Did he have his penis out when he was there?
Didn't have his. You know, I would have appreciated that better. You know, at least it was sexual in nature then.
You know what? Make it up so it makes the story better.
Yeah, he had this huge penis, big penis, tripod. I called him. No, it was just, and he wasn't really there for any reason or whatever. It was just like to say, hey, it was so unsettling.
That is weird.
And when I tell you, I said to management, I said, I need you guys to put lights outside or something, or maybe a security camera would be helpful or whatever. And they were like, nah, it's harmless. I'm like, it doesn't feel harmless. You know, I'm like, this doesn't feel harm, but they never fucking did it. I had a guy one time who wrote a threatening thing on Facebook towards me.
Oh, really?
So I saw it and I'm like, okay. And this was at a time where when you would post on Facebook, it would put your location. So I don't even know, 16, 17, maybe. No, it was probably 2013 or 14. It would put your location. He posts the second thing, which mentioned a gun, and he's even closer to me. So I pick up the phone, I call my manager, and I tell them, and they say, okay, call. I pick up the phone, call the police. Police come. Essentially, they're like, there's nothing they can do, and blah, blah, blah. It turns out they were, like we found out later on, they were song lyrics that he was posting, because it was it was threatening. It wasn't like, Anthony, I'm going to kill you. It was threatening stuff, but it was like he was like adding me. It was like on my page, and like they were like, it could be an accident, it could be whatever, and I'm like, yeah, but do we want to like err on the side of? Because I said to them, I said, can you guys like hang out outside for a little bit until I leave? And they were like, we can't really do that. They're like, but we're really close by. And they were like, maybe you should just go home. And I'm like, yeah, I think I'm going to go home. I'm like, you really can't just hang out for a little bit? They would not, like, they couldn't do anything about it. But we think it was like not intentional, because again, we found out later, like we Googled it and they were lyrics and shit like that. And then it turned out that he like deleted it all and never heard from him again. I think it was an accident. I don't think it was really meant to me. But for when that second thing came up, I was like, oh, fuck. This is a little scary. Like, I don't know this guy or what I said to piss him off or whatever. You know, who the fuck knows?
Right. Weird.
And again, I'm a lowly nobody, you know, fart joke making asshole. So I say that because Charlie Kirk and his status, like, I don't know if you get to Charlie Kirk's level and you don't have that thought of, somebody could pop me with a gun one day, you know?
Right.
So I think he was aware of that and wasn't afraid of it.
Oh, I know. Oh.
On that bizarre note, not like we could have ended the show on any good note, really, you know?
Right.
But yeah. All right, J-Sabs, we'll go make a prediction. Give me a time frame. When do we catch the killer?
I'm going to say when we wake up tomorrow, we're going to know.
Okay, I'm going to say...
I'm not going to say catch. We're going to know who it is.
Oh, know who it is? Okay. Oh, interesting.
You?
I think by Friday they have him in custody.
Interesting.
Yeah, I think so. But I think I say that just out of gut feeling. There's a part of me that also feels like we may never. Yeah, see, I'm with Flying Y, 48 hours. I just feel like 48 hours feels about right. That puts him at Friday. We may never know. This one, they might get away with it. But I mean, they found Luigi they found Luigi.
I mean, how could you not find him? He's so fucking hot. He did a lot of dumb things, though.
To your point.
Young, dumb, and full of cum. But
to your point earlier, he was in New York City. You know, there's
exactly.
Yeah.
There's no way you could get away with that. There's no way.
Yeah, this area of Utah, I'm sure there's cameras and shit, but again, not like New York, to your point earlier.
On that note, I have to go watch the documentary about Charlie Sheen having sex with men.
Oh, go ahead, enjoy that. That should be really, really good.
Adios.
All right, thanks, J Subs. It was good to have J Subs come in here and use the phrase "young, dumb, and full of cum" because that's one of my favorites of yours.
I hope your mom watches tonight, just for that little piece.
My mom's gonna be like, yeah, J Sabs is good. I'm gonna get a call from my mom to be like, you don't let J Sabs talk enough. That's what your problem is. That's gonna be my mother's critique. Aaron C says, I agree with J Sabs about the young, dumb, and full of cum line, or is that something else? Hard to tell. There's a lot of talk on this episode. All right, Aaron C, just know that I miss you. Not your other half so much, but it's you I miss. BT5 on Friday. Could we tease the people? Young, dumb, and full of cum is the Charlie Sheen special. I saw a clip earlier of Charlie Sheen with Michael Strahan, and he was saying he passed on the Karate Kid. That his dad, Martin Sheen, made him do it. Ooh, maybe we'll pick that up on Friday. Hopefully Friday will be a lot more of a funner episode. Last Friday was fun as shit. It was just 9 hours, but it was still fun. Aaron C says yes to BT5 on Friday. So come back for that for some fun. Until we see you guys next time, stay safe. And we'll see you on Friday.
Potato salad. Maybe we should go now.
Go ahead.